Whether you're a life coach, therapist, biohacker, invested in wellness, or in the healthcare profession, if you have an intention to work in psychedelic spaces, you're in the right place then. If you're called, get involved. But first, get informed. Let's talk the 4 N's: intake, intention, in-space integration, leading to deeper transformations. Psychedelic Coach Podcast, Talk Cole. Walk you through the process, it's all possible. Leave space for the follow through. Most importantly, integration is not optional.
You're about to step into a ceremony space and surrender to what's in store, and there's no other way through.
We are at the Condor Coach Live training. We are training psychedelic-informed integration coaches. We're training nurses, doctors, life coaches. We have people that are working in all different walks of life. And we're teaching people a new way of connecting with the self, establishing a relationship with the self primarily, and in a relationship with everything else around.
As far as my personal transformation goes, this is the most potent, powerful, heartwarming experience I've had in my life.
Coming through. Let's go. All right, y'all. So we have a little bit of a change of plan today. Ta is on a plane. One of his dearest friends got moved to hospice over the weekend. And so he's flown out to be with him. So different class than what we initially talked about, but I'm excited about today because I feel this is one of the most important conversations to have. And I feel that it's one of the most important things that we teach here at the Condor Approach. So it feels fitting. And so before I even begin, if we could just take three deep breaths together to send to our dearest Dom, sending him love, sending him and his family ease as he prepares for a new adventure outside of this third dimensional realm. As you can imagine, it's a very tough time for Ta right now. So any messages of love, he's kind of in and out of crying and surrender and love and all the things all at once. So if you feel compelled today, he's currently on a flight to Brooklyn to go be with Dom. So I will put a GoFundMe link down in the bottom here when I'm finished for those that feel called to support his family. He's the breadwinner. And so this leaves his wife and 3 kids in needing some support. So I'll make sure that I put that down in the show notes after or for the call after. So let's just take 3 deep breaths together, sending love, sending support to Dom, his family, and to Ta, who is traveling out to Brooklyn right now. So let's take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale in. Exhale. One more deep breath together. Exhale. All right, y'all. Now is the time to get into today's content. 2024 is here. And whether or not you follow this calendar, times are changing, whether you follow astrology or the calendar, it is a new time that is upon us here. And so what I really want to speak to today is about your body. Your body has its own innate intelligence, and quite often we are not slowing down for the body. Your body is process-oriented. Unlike your heart, unlike your mind, your heart and love can travel through space and time. Your mind can travel to the future in its imagination. It can go back to the past, but your body is only ever in the now, right now, which means the thoughts you consume or continue to spiral and cycle, the food, the social media, the news, all show up in your body in this present moment and creates your body of the future right now. And so there is no better time than right now to have this conversation about the body, about what is your body trying to tell you, and starting to translate those cues. Welcome to Masterclass Mondays. We do this every single Monday here in the Condor Approach group. We've got people live here on Facebook. I've got my Zoom open here. And so for this next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to be talking about body mapping. If you have someone that you believe will benefit from this message as time goes on, be sure to share this, invite them in. The replay will be up for 24 hours. So before I get into today's class, my name is Cole Whitty. If we haven't met before, I'm one of the co-founders of the Condor Approach. And what I'm going to show you today is how not only I healed and transformed my own health in my body, but how I have helped hundreds of people to do the same. And through our book, The Condor Approach, which is available on Amazon, thousands of people are now doing the same as well. So take it or leave it. These are not laws I'm going to be sharing with you today. These are not rules. This is to help you start to consider it. Consider your body. Consider the symbols and the signs and how you can start to talk to your body in psychedelic spaces. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt that if I had not worked with master teachers like psilocybin, like ayahuasca, like Wachuma, also known as San Pedro, that my body and I could not have gotten on the same page. It isn't just something that's happening to you. This is a collection of intelligence, not only of your ancestors, but of all the food and things that you consume. Your entire being is a rearticulation of ancient technology. And that's what I want to help you start to translate today. So let me know below where you're tuning in from. Let me know where you are right now. If you're catching the replay, put replay. If you're live, put live and tell me where you're tuning in from. And now we're going to get into it. Now, I'm going to first start by sharing a little bit about chakras. Now, I am not a master teacher of chakras, or chakras as many people call them, okay? I'm here to give context. This is usually a talk conversation as far as depth, but I can absolutely get you started the same way I did for myself. So we are going to jump in here. We got folks from Texas, St. Louis, Florida. I see you. I got Seven, Nina, Paul, Mark, got Kari, cold from Minneapolis. Hey, it's cold down here in Austin, Texas, too. It was 19 degrees last time I looked. So right now we are all in the cold together. We got New Hampshire. What's going on, Denise? All right, y'all. Now you're going to see me popping in and out my wonderful fisherman's friends because I am still I was quite sick 2 weeks ago. That's why Todd took over Masterclass Mondays. So I'm going to try to be as effective as possible. Know that I'm showing up for what's here. I'm energized. I'm excited. So let's get into it today, y'all. First things first. Let me share my screen. Let me clear my throat. But for real. So here we are going to be talking about body mapping today, y'all. Body mapping. So if you already know about my story, I used to have endometriosis. I had an ovarian torsion. I had a 40-degree scoliosis curve from 20-something broken bones. I've had 3 traumatic brain injuries. I've been in a coma. I had short-term memory loss from being in a coma. I've been kicked in the face by a horse. Y'all, I've been through it, okay? I've been held at gunpoint. I have dodged bullets, literally. I've endured and recovered so much in my life. That's why I'm so passionate about this. This is why I teach about this. And maybe you've heard it before, but regardless of whether you have, come with a student mind. The greatest teachers always are students too. And maybe today you're going to hear something a little bit different. So leave yourself the opportunity to do that, right? Battle-tested, trauma-built, we'll say, right? So here's some considerations. If you would like to have these slides after this presentation, you have to be in the membership portal. All right, y'all? It is $25 a month. It's absurd for you to not be in there. If you're one of our Condor coaches, you got access to it already. So go get it. All right? So here's the deal. I'm going to be covering today about chakras. I'm not going to go into the particular organs necessarily. And if you're not one of our coaches and you want these slides, just put membership or just message me membership. I'll send you the information. It's $25 a month or like $200 for the year or something crazy. Anyway, so chakras or chakras. For simplicity purposes today, I'm going to speak in 2 kind of facets. 1, your chakra development. 2, the literal function of your body parts and how you can start to translate your body's cues. So we're going to talk about the root, the sacral, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye, and crown. There are many, many more, but this is what we're going to cover today. So if you sat down and mapped your current or past aches, pains, injuries, or surgeries alongside life events, what might your body be saying? My invitation for you is to sit down at some point today from birth, and even before, if you know about your birth story or your mother's pregnancy, from your birth story until now, any injury, any illness, any aches, any pains. I don't believe you have bad knees. I believe you've been bad to your knees. And so they are reacting as such. And so if you sat down and actually timeline everything after hearing what I'm going to share with you today, it's going to start to illuminate a whole lot of truth or a whole lot of consideration for you. And I want you to consider the literal function of the body part or area as you move along, taking note of the literal function of that body part and the chakra map. So, showed this a little bit already. Doing an intake process on yourself, or if you're a medicine carrier or a facilitator, this will change the way that you facilitate people forever. I can tell just from body mapping with someone how their past is affecting their present. And that also impacts how I guide them in shamanic or psychedelic spaces. So the word chakra is actually pronounced chakra. That's Ta's slide. Chakra, nice. I've got, like I said, Ta's traveling today, so I'm going to rock with them today. So what are chakras? They are the main energy centers situated around the human body. These are the main 7 that I'm going to talk about today. We've got the base, right? The root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, heart, throat, brow, crown. Now, humans tend to process and hold emotional energies in specific regions of the body. What does this look like? Here's an example. Let me know if you have ever worked with mushrooms and got sick to your stomach and thought, oh, mushrooms make me sick. Just put mushrooms in the comments if that's happened to you before, where you got nauseous. And maybe it's every time you've worked with mushrooms. Have you ever considered the chakra being impacted when you're nauseous? For us, and again, this is my experience. You can believe whatever you want or say whatever you want. In our ceremonies, anytime, and this was true for myself as well, when someone is nauseous, it is not a reaction to the mushrooms. It is where you're holding stuck energy, what you may be processing, digesting, over-processing, not processing. Look at the literal function of the body part being impacted, because typically psychedelics and master teachers turn up what is already there. If you've got IBS, upset stomach, and you work with mushrooms, of course you're going to feel nauseous. It's the master teacher potentially telling you that the energy gets stuck there. So doing abdominal massage with a massage therapist, or doing abdominal massage in the ceremony, or singing, moving the energy. When I work with ayahuasca, I don't purge. Why? Because I sing. The energy must move. And so many people are laying down still on their mat, when if they would sing and join the Icaros, the energy moves. And so it's not necessary to purge. Purging does not have to happen by throwing up all the time. It's one way to purge. It's not the only way. You can sweat, you can pee, you can sing, you choose your purge, people, okay? So the next time that you are in a ceremony and you feel nauseous, I'm going to tell you some of the cues of how you could talk to your body, what you can say to your body so that you can go cohesive and get on the same team. Because when there's pain, it's you and your body at war, things that you either don't understand or refuse to understand or will not see. So this is the opportunity to start to change that. First, I'm going to give you some more context. So when your emotions are activated, your related chakras become active. So until you're able to move and discharge that energy, it can remain stuck there indefinitely. And I can't tell you how many times I worked with someone in a psychedelic experience where they had a knot in their stomach. And that as I did abdominal massage and worked with the energy, maybe sang over the person or with the person, that once we could just get that energy to move, the nausea went away. It is not merely happenstance when these things happen in ceremony. So the flow of energy from chakra to chakra can be irregular and or distorted. Emotions, stress, movement practices, quality of nutrition, hydration, and breathing all have an effect on how the chakra system works. So let's talk about the developmental ages, very top level. If you come to one of our trainings, we go into this a whole lot deeper, y'all. When I tell you that fibromyalgia is a classification of pain that doctors can't put a finger on it. So it's literally just, you hurt, we don't know why. And 20 years ago, they didn't believe you if you said you had fibromyalgia. No doctor would even agree that that was a thing. Okay, so this is a new classification of a symptom that they don't know what to call it, so they call it fibromyalgia. What if it's your body trying to talk to you, but nobody slowed down to help try to teach you or show you some context to start to translate what your body's trying to tell you? So we're going to talk about the ages. We focus on them in development, associations, blocks, and openings. So your first chakra starts to develop, or the first we're going to talk about today. Development starts at 1 year old. It's associated with fear and safety. So when a child, for example, before the age of 8 years old, lives in an environment where there's a lot of yelling, or they don't have enough food, or the mother is under a lot of stress, or the mother's chronically ill, depressed, the child in this development, their safety is compromised. So the physical body actually develops with fear in the body. And so this person gets stuck, and their ability to feel safe ever is compromised, which is when they tend to go to psychedelics to learn what safety even is. Until you experience safety, you don't realize how long you didn't feel safe. And it's not only physical abuse. It can be withholding love. It can have a parent that gave significance and love for high achievement and shamed you or took love away if you didn't behave properly, if you didn't do what they said, right? Then you learn on an unconscious level. Our instinctual intelligence says, if I don't behave and do well, love will be taken away, or I'll be cast out of the tribal mentality. I will be left out to die on a very primal, instinctual level. So if you had parents that work full time, no one was around, it's not only too much anger, resentment, or violence. It's also not enough nurturing, love, presence. If you didn't know there was people there to love you or someone to talk to when you needed them, then you can have your chakra blocked by fear. Next up, we're going to the sacral chakra. This starts to develop at 3 years old. It's associated with feelings of connection and sexuality. It's blocked by guilt. So it's opened by self-acceptance and forgiveness as you get older. So around 8 years old, if you had a sexual experience, whether it was by choice, not by choice, if you maybe had, say, a religious background that made you feel guilty about that sexuality, that sensuality, that pleasure you might have experienced, again, whether it was consensual or not, that can block the sacral chakra. I see this very often. PCOS, endometriosis, other dysregulation of the woman or the person with the ovaries' developmental processes, heavy periods. It's not because, something to consider is to look at the ages around 8 to 14, give or take. And again, these are not rigid. These are context to give you some consideration to start to think, right? If you had something that occurred around sensuality, sexuality, anything like that, and there was guilt, that can block the sacral chakra. My ovarian torsion at 15 years old was the guilt from assaults on my sexuality that happened from 8 to 12 years old. Now, it wasn't the event that happened. It was my thoughts about the events that happened that caused an internalization, that caused me to turn in on myself, on my ovaries, and actually caused such severe cysts that my ovary almost died. I was rushed to the hospital because my ovary was dying from being the blood circulation cut off. Now, this is something I discovered in one of my psychedelic journeys, okay? So this is why I'm so passionate, not only about this work, but truly understanding the body's cues. Because what your body's been through is historical data, but it can be reknown. Doesn't mean you're going to forget it, but it can be reknown. Solar plexus, development at 5 years old, associated with confidence and self-control. We're talking just above the belly button here. It's blocked by shame. So the focal years for this is 15 to 21. Eating disorders are very common with someone during their development that something happened, caused shame, and I see a lot of eating disorder, digestive issues, things like that in the solar plexus part of the body. It's opened by self-acceptance and self-honesty. In psychedelic spaces with master teachers, this is another thing that you really start to see as someone works through that self-acceptance and self-honesty. That IBS, upset stomach, why are you angry, or what are you so holding on to this energy, right? If you'll go back and look around the age of 15, what was going on in those environments, it may cue you what to go explore in your psychedelic spaces. Next up, we've got the heart. Development at 7 years old associated with harmony, blocked by grief, sadness, and loss. If you lost a parent, a pet, a friend, something like this, your heart, and we saw this a lot with COVID, people with long COVID symptoms had unresolved grief, sadness, or loss that they were holding onto in their body. And by going into a master teacher like MDMA or sassafras, MDA, they could look at that heart connection or speak to their heart and release or process any grief or sadness. And then their body was able to heal and finally let go of long COVID symptoms or other respiratory symptoms. Or if a child, asthma, things around the heart, literal function of the body part, heart connection, can't take a deep breath. Asthma, don't feel safe in their environment. They can't breathe. Yes? Blocked by grief, sadness, and loss, people start to, the focal years really are 22 to 28, right as you're getting into that Saturn's return point, which takes us to the throat. Starts to develop at 9 years old, associated with philosophy, blocked by all forms of dishonesty, opened by expressing your truth. So when you get to that Saturn's return focal year, 29 to 35, that's when people are starting to speak. They're letting go of people pleasing. They're starting to say what they mean or express their desires or things of that nature. So when you look back at a child who is having a lot of tonsil issues, having a lot of throat issues, strep throat, I would be asking myself, is there anything they're not able to express? Is there something that might have happened that they don't feel safe to tell or to say? Or maybe they don't stop talking. Maybe you keep getting a sore throat because you just outward give your thoughts and opinions or your creativity or whatever, but you're not in a place where people will receive it. You're so tired of not being heard, or maybe you're always saying what you need, but nobody ever backs you up. So no matter what you say, you can't trust that what you say is received, that nobody actually cares. Regardless of what they say, it's not received. You can see neck issues in the back, middle back issues around the heart, lower back issues with family, back and support, throat, expression, truth, dishonesty, or it's not being received when you express. Takes me to the third eye. Development starts at 11 years old, associated with wisdom, blocked by loneliness, generated by the illusion of separation from other humans, migraines, very, very common. Opened by connection, the focal years are 36 to 42. When we look at wisdom, when we look at when someone feels lonely, I see a lot of headaches. And so the physical migraine or headache is actually the body trying to protect the person from the emotional pain they're feeling by having physical pain. I can't go out and see people, so I can't be rejected. Just one consideration, not a truth, not a totality or a definitive thing, something to consider. How often, I'll speak for myself, did I get a migraine going into a job that I hated, that I didn't feel connected to, that I didn't feel like my perspective mattered? And so I would get a migraine, which would help me get out of there because I didn't want to go. Something to consider, but it also separated me. Another thing to consider, Crown chakra, development at 15 associated with spirituality, blocked by earthly attachment and the idea of scarcity or deficit. Another thing with migraines, all the energy's up in your head. You're overthinking, over processing, all that tension and tightness when it's blocked by I don't have enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough clients. I don't have enough. I want a new car. All of this processing up here can create headaches. In psychedelic and master teacher experiences, when someone's getting a headache, all their energy's up here. So I might be asking them questions around their ideas of earthly attachments, scarcity, deficit, attachment to how things should be, their ideas, and they're refusing to let go. This is when someone goes through that maturation process, 34 to 49. They're really starting to figure out what's really important to them. So whether it's yourself or your clients, knowing where their current focal points are and what age some of the energetic blocks may have developed can help you facilitate their processes. If you want to learn more about this, come to the next live event, February 22nd to the 24th. We'll speak to your specific things in real time, because when you start to understand the blocks, the age developments, it changes the questions that you ask, both before a ceremony and after a ceremony. When you have more certainty what you can explore, it's more likely you're going to be able to get back to a flow state. So this is something that Ta likes to show, electrophoretic analysis. When someone's body is in alignment, how their auric field works, and when someone's out of alignment. All right? Take a nice deep breath here, fam. So this is obviously slides from one of the last Condor approach. And what I want to talk to you now is about how can you speak to your own body if you are noticing these types of signs and symptoms in your own physicality. How do you do that? I'm going to show you some of my favorite ways when I'm in a psychedelic experience, whether it's mushrooms, whether it's wachuma, whether it's ayahuasca. Let's start with a nice deep breath, because I did a whole lot of brain and a lot of fast talking there. Let's take a nice deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. So in this moment, and you're considering everything that I just said, I want you to write down something specific that you would like to bring to your attention and your intentions for your own body. And follow along with me for just a moment, unless you're driving. Then make sure you wait till you pull over. When I'm talking to my physical body, there's two actions I like to take. One, I like to cross so my palms are facing my face. I cross my palms across each other so my two hands are in an X at the wrist, like Wakanda style, crossed at the wrist. And I'm going to open my fingers and loop my thumbs together like I'm making a bird, but my palms are facing me. And I bring my palms back to my chest, to my sternum, and I'll just start to tap, whether it's nice and gentle, like it's raindrops, or maybe I'm adding a little more speed or a little more intensity to it. And I'll close my eyes for that moment. And whatever I want to bring my attention or intention to, I say it out loud to my body. And the reason that I say it out loud is so that my body gets to experience the sensation and vibration of what that I'm letting it know I'm talking to you. Sometimes when you just have thoughts, it may not be translating to the rest of your body. And by speaking out loud, I get to experience it through the vibration of my voice, through my ears. And sometimes even I'll go to the mirror in the bathroom and look at myself. Sometimes I close my eyes so I can really feel into my whole body. And as I tap on my sternum, I'll say, I can feel the tension in my back. Body, what are you trying to tell me? Am I not feeling supported? What is behind me? Body, what are you trying to tell me when you tighten up in my back? I want you to know that I'm listening. I want you to know that I love you and that I'm here to receive any truth or any message that you have for me to release this pain or tension or tightness in my back. Right? So that's one way. Or if I'm in a ceremony, I might not cross my hands. I just tap my sternum and I'll tell my body, whatever you need me to know, whatever you need me to do or to understand, I'm open to seeing the truth. I'm open to seeing whatever you need me to see or however you need me to see it so that I can release this dis-ease in my body. I'm here to hear you. I'm here to feel you. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Right? And then if I'm having pain or tension in a particular part of my body, I will close my eyes and go to that part of my body in my journey or in my psychedelic experience. If it's a pain that was in my knee, I might massage the knee and send love to that part of my body. And y'all, more often than not, when I had old injuries, it wasn't just that the old injury was expressing, is that there was still stuck energy from something going on at that point in my life that my body was holding on to. In the moment of an injury, your body reacts to protect it. And what I have found is that after 12 weeks, most of the time, any pain you still have is trapped energy or a trapped memory or something you haven't processed. So going back to what I said earlier, think of the literal function of the body part being impacted and then look at the chakra development, right? Now, I don't have time today, and if I had more time, I'd get into it. And at the live events, we do. If it's your knee, what chakra is that? If it's your ankle, if it's your foot, I don't have time to get into that today. That's why we have so much time at the Condor Approach live event to cover it, is because it's a lot to cover. And we have incredible coaches there that know so much that they can speak to your specific problems you may be struggling with. But for example, not too long ago, I dislocated my kneecap. Just silly. I was laying down on the ground and I went to pop up and completely dislocated my kneecap. Now, in knowing what I know and knowing what I teach, I thought, all right, what's the literal function of the body part? Well, it's my right leg. Typically, if it's the right side impacted, I'm thinking of masculine energy, not man. Masculine energy, like getting things done, like directness, like action. And what, as I sat and talked to my body and left space for the answers to come through, what I realized, the pain in my shoulders that I had had in my neck was from all the weight I was carrying from the Condor Approach, from the business structure of how I was doing it, and dislocating my leg was my body saying, I can't take another step. I will not permit you to take another step with this weight on your shoulders. You have to redo, re-know, change the way that you're doing things because it's too much. And so in the dislocation of that kneecap, I sat down, and once I created that space, once I knew what I needed to do, then I sat with Ta. He worked on my knee and we did a visualization exercise, right? Because when the injury occurred, other parts of my body tightened up to protect my knee, to protect the body part. That's what it's designed to do. How do you get it to release and relax again? How do you get some of those adhesions to release? Well, an incredible body worker is one. Learning myofascial techniques for yourself is another. I had to learn how to work with my own body because I could not afford the amount of support I needed because I had had 20-something broken bones, because I'd been kicked in the face by a horse. My nose has been broken 3 times. I'd been in a coma. However, I've broken both my legs, both my ankles, my tibia, my collarbone, my arms, fingers. So many things that I could not afford all of the care necessary to get my body back or to heal all the parts of my body. The gift in that was because I didn't have the financial resources for the healers that could have helped me then. It forced me to start to speak to my body and truly learn my body. And that is the gift of the Condor Approach now, is I'm going to be able to save you so much time and energy. What took me 13 years to learn. Now, are you going to learn it all in a 2-day event? No, but it is going to start to put you around people for these conversations. You're going to have video access to a portal We're going to be deep in these conversations so that it's not just a cool concept up in your mind, but that's an embodied understanding of your physicality. I am evidence of this work. This isn't me just telling you something by happenstance. This is someone who is not only a walking miracle, but I had conditions like endometriosis that doctors said you can't heal. I've been off all medication since 2009. I haven't had a laparoscopy since 2009. Probably should have in 2011, but I didn't have insurance. And I didn't want my condition to go active because it makes your insurance more. But whatever, I watched my temperature, let my body do what it needed to do, and sucked it up through the pain. So this is your opportunity, y'all. Whatever the aches and pains are, do not ignore them anymore. Do not. My hypothyroidism, my fibromyalgia, the endometriosis, the ovarian torsion, the scoliosis, all of the times I didn't feel supported from all the time in my life that there was pain. What I find is pain is the biggest block to purpose. It is a perfect excuse to play small. Because when you don't approach your pain, or you just allow the pain to continue, it's safer than allowing your unconscious or subconscious mind to start to bring to the surface the emotional pain you have not processed. My body was giving me physical pain at times in an effort to protect me from the emotional pain I felt like was too much to feel. Think about that. If pain wasn't there, what would come to the surface that you'd have to look at? What unconscious thoughts, memories, things, conversations with people would you have to have if you were not burdened by pain? What steps and actions would you finally not have an excuse to take because of pain? Because you're exhausted? Because you're experiencing brain fog? Sometimes these aren't just diet and lifestyle. Sometimes they're protective mechanisms because you've gone past your threshold. The tools that you have will not suffice. So how come if nothing has changed in your diet, it's too much now? Because your body's tired. Your body is tired of you not listening, or it may be tired. And so just like you don't tolerate the same types of people and experiences, your body will not tolerate the same stuff that you've been doing to it your entire life. This is the year to get consensual with your body. Do not go into a Kambo ceremony without talking to your body. Burning it without talking to it first. Ingesting substances without talking to it first. Adrenal fatigue is often because you're not maintaining boundaries with your own body and you keep forcing it or allowing other people to force it through your people pleasing, through your obligation. And so your body's exhausted from it all. Now is the time to get clear with your body. Now is the time to take action and get clear with your body. Now is the time to actually allow you and your body to become allies. You have ancient technology working through every cell in your being. And if you aren't listening, it's telling you. If you refuse to listen, it will sit you down until you can't do anything else. That's what chronic illness did for me. Now, what happened in the past was not your fault. Your refusal or putting off making the changes now is your responsibility. And this is why we do our live events. This is why I do weekly calls for our coaches. And I know a lot of the coaches don't show up or prioritize the calls. I know because I am still there. I know because Dice is still there. And the thing is, y'all, as long as you continue to tolerate this bullshit from yourself, you're going to get what you get. And I know this can be an overwhelming process when it comes to your health and your body. That's why community is so important. In the days that you feel like you can't, on the days that you feel like you won't, to have that love and support that may be different than it was in the past. In the past, you haven't been supported. In the past, you haven't supported. This is the year of authenticity. This is the year of walking the walk. This is the year of taking all of the concepts and tools you've gained so far to not only truly step into your next level of leadership, but to also start to help others. Where you are right now, if you're out of at least a day-to-day survival mode, or even if you're not, if you have kids and people that rely on you, it is your obligation to get clear here. Because when you get in alignment here, it changes the environment around you. You heal your children when you heal yourself. You heal your grandmother when you show up for yourself. You are changing the genetic predisposition of disease. Disease isn't just genetic and happenstance. It's consequence, cone sequence with sequence. So until you change the sequence, you can't change the future for yourself or for the lineage beyond you. Our live events are $1,000 to come. Come to the next live event. Whether or not you're a coach is irrelevant. If you're in our coaching program, cool. The first 2 days, we're going to talk business. The last 3 days, we talk all about concepts. If you're not a coach and not in our program, you just come the 3 days for these concepts. That's it. $1,000 to change your life. $1,000 to step into authenticity. Stop skipping steps. Stop trying to market your way into clients. When you actually prove this stuff in your health, in your wealth, in your life, clients will come to you. The reason you may not be getting clients is because you're not living the truth you already know. I'm not here to give you more truth. I'm not here to give you more cool concepts. I have some if you want them. But if you just did what you knew to be true right now, more people would come to you and ask you how they could do it too. So that's what 2024 is all about. You're going to see the people who actually are walking the walk because everybody else is going to be too sick or their mental health is going to crash too far because what they think is not how they act, because how they think is not how they are walking through life. I love you. Come get in on this goodness. Come to the Condor approach. I'm going to be changing the website today to make the cost $1,000 period at the end. I am ready for you to come get in on this goodness. And the coaching program, if you want more information, you have to get on the phone with me. You can't even book it. Won't let you. At this point, if someone doesn't sell me on why they want to become a Condor approach, it is a no. Come learn these concepts for $1,000. 3 days. 10 hours a day, we're there together, y'all. And you will be surrounded by the most stunning reflections of who you are, who you want to be, and people that have done their own work. The relationships alone are worth the investment. Ask anyone that's come. They've gotten lifelong friends that they can not only grow with, but that they can lean on, that they can learn to trust again, that they can learn to love again. So that's the end for today. I know I ranted there a little bit longer. And yes, I know so many of you are coming. Ariel, we've got Nina Paulmark's coming. I know Cheryl has come before. Kari has been, and she's coming back. Now is the time, y'all. Come look around and find out. That's what I'm saying. That is literally what this comes down to. This is not a program. This is a portal. Just by coming to this event, it will change you. Just by coming to this event, you're going to see where you're not in alignment. You are. So come hell or high water, when you say out into the universe that you want to get in alignment, be very mindful of what you ask for, fam, before you come to a live event. Because when you're going to get what you asked for. So you might want some of these tools too. You might want some of this support too. The greatest gift, though, is once you get in alignment, there is no greater gift. Just it comes down to, are you willing to do the work? So this concludes the live here on Facebook. I'm going to be going to the membership portal for questions. If you want more information about the membership, just put membership down in the comments. If you're on Facebook, and Hallmark, I think, already posted the link once. You can join it for $25 a month. You're going to get all the replays. You're going to get the slides. You're going to get the Q&As here with me after the classes. And I'm going to be going live over there for the next 15 or so minutes. So I'm letting you go here on Facebook, y'all. Be easy, be free. The next live is February 22nd to the 24th here in Austin, Texas. $1,000 to come, even if you've been before. Doesn't matter. 3 days, right? We're on a full moon. It's 22 of 24. So we're 22 to the 24th in 24. Because I love me some numbers. And it's always an incredible time. We got a healing tent. We got support for you. We've got incredible coaches, and we would love to see you there. Until next time, y'all, be easy, be free. Come get in on this goodness. Come on. Love y'all. Peace. Some things need to be healed in community, and we offer you something unparalleled with the Condor Approach Live. We're going to talk about how to prepare for, navigate, and integrate your psychedelic experiences for yourself or those that you love. These live events are catalysts. They really allow you to uncover and unleash the potential that you already have within you. When you're surrounded by like-minded people who are walking the walk and are committed to the path, you may even find your next facilitator or coach, but this event is designed to foster genuine relationships, give you community that supports and uplifts you, wants to see you win. If you've been wanting to embody this understanding and take these skills to a new level, then a live dynamic environment is just the way. You can go to thecondorapproach.com. That is thecondorapproach.com, and we will see you in February.
Integration is not optional.